and it's doing some of that admin manual work which a salesperson or a team no longer need to do. So it's speeding up the process. And what we've noticed, that when we've implemented software like this into an organization and then monitoring with that human level, that they've been flooded with leads.
Welcome to the Thrive Podcast, where we dive deep into tech entrepreneurship and strategic growth. I'm your host, Bill Potter, founder of Thrive Advisors, and I'm here to guide tech-led founders through the maze of challenges on their journey to maximizing enterprise valuation. Whether it's scaling your team, navigating market shifts, or unlocking new revenue streams, we'll explore actionable strategies and insights to help you thrive in today's competitive landscape. Join me as we uncover the secrets to strategic growth and success in tech startups. Get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey into the future of customer experience with our extraordinary guest, Joe Dalton, author of the groundbreaking book, Salescraft. Joe is a true master of deal closing and sales strategy. Now he's bringing his expertise to our podcast to delve into the intersection of technology and customer interactions. Joe will provide actionable insights and cutting-edge strategies that will inspire and prepare you to revolutionize customer engagement practices. Joe, welcome to the podcast.
Bill, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, our pleasure. Joe, to kick things off, could you provide our viewers with an overview of integrating technology and customer experience and why it's so significant in today's market?
Great question. I think the reason why we need to embrace technology, especially when we're providing with customer experience, is to enhance, understand, and find what they really need. I think that as we move into 2024 and the way that our markets and the way technology is developing, we're able to find out by data points, touch points, and also with the technology to increase and enhance that customer experience so they actually then can buy from us today, tomorrow, and the year after.
I agree. Almost 2 decades ago, we were engaging my former company in proactive customer communication. And what we did was, by proactively giving customers information before they had to call the call center, not only was it saving our clients a great deal of money in the call center operations, but it was lowering their customer effort to do business with them. And what's been proven over the past couple of decades is, what's a better predictor of customer loyalty? Is it high customer satisfaction or low customer effort? And they said, all things being equal, it's always lower customer effort.
Yeah, people are lazy and they want things instantly, and they have that attention span where if you don't catch them in that 5-10 minute, they're gone forever. Now, we do know that touch points have increased rapidly, where a couple of years ago it could have been 3 or 4 touch points, but now it could be 10 or 20 touch points, and that's extending as the years go on. However, with technology, it's allowing you to connect and reach out and respond to the customer in rapid time. Let's look at, AI. So we got chatbots, we got instant messaging, we've got all the different platforms. These are all tools that we should be using to enhance the customer service, because look, you know me, Bill, and I'm focused around sales and I'm focused around customer experience, and it's about closing the deal. Right. That's the revenue. We can all have the most wonderful things in the world, but you also need to have a strategy on how to use all the technology as well.
Tell me more.
Well, when I'm saying the technology, let's look at the likes of LinkedIn. Let's look at messaging. Let's look at some chatbots. A lot of people will invest in these and they'll be on them just producing content or reaching out and saying, hello to someone, but with no strategy behind it. And what we do is, when we find or speak to people who are trying to drive their sales, and have all the platforms in the world, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., they're still not making revenue. They're still not getting leads. They're still not creating prospects. And the reason being because their strategy is all a bit skewed. And what they need to do is they need to come back. They need to ask a question. And the question is, what is it our customers need and what do they want? And we call that reverse engineering. So what we're doing is we're going out and speaking to the people that do business with us already, because they're the ones that have all the wealth of all the information that you will ever need. Speak to them, get the data points, get all that information. And when you have that, then use that as part of your strategy to get new clients, new prospects, new business.
That no doubt works on B2C, but my experience has also been that it works, it's essential to do it on a B2B client basis as well. We have set up feedback loops, very structured feedback loops, so we're constantly in contact with our business clients and making sure that they're on the front lines, our operations people are on the front lines, and they're constantly getting what we need to be doing to enhance their operations. So I think it works well both on B2B and B2C.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm fascinated about through the years in my 30 years of existence in business is people.
Yes.
And behind every great organization or behind every great customer mission statement, there's people. And sometimes we forget that people buy from people. And what we need to do is we need to ask B2B or B2C these questions. And there's 3 great questions that we'd love to get our clients to ask existing customers. Why did you come to us? Why are you still with us? And how can we improve our experience with you?
Excellent.
And then listen and say nothing, because what happens, the people start to open up and talk. And subconsciously, when people are talking to you, they tell you everything. And I always say to people, ask, speak, communicate. Because if you're asking someone in this, like in an email, okay, which is great technology, they'll write something and they'll rewrite it because they want to be more intelligent, and they'll rewrite it. And you're not getting the true picture. So if you have those conversations with people, it actually then sets you up for the reverse engineering of what you need to do. And let me give you an example, Bill, if I can. We had a company that was reaching out, and it was trying to connect with its marketplace, and it had done all the data points, it had picked the persona, it knew the market, but they still weren't getting it right. So we gave them a task to speak to people. And when they spoke to 100 people within their marketplace, and then used the language that those people were communicating, and then put the language, the wording into their messaging, into all their data, they actually then, when they reached out to people were saying, you know what? They're speaking my language, they understand me, and they start doing more business with them.
Well, it's all about listening and being authentic with the customer. What elements make a great brand stand out, in terms of when you're creating a personalized customer journey?
Trust.
And how
That's
do
what it
you
is.
evolve that trust? I mean, yes,
Yeah.
listen, ask those questions, but how would you go about advising a client on how to increase trust with their customers?
The trust element, as we are now online, is having that information, having the content that relate to your customer, but also then letting them know that you're there for them to serve them, letting them know that your team don't need permission to say yes, they need permission to say no.
Great point. We, when we were building Message Broadcast, my former company, our goal was not to be considered a vendor to our enterprise clients. It was to become have them refer to us as their partner. And part of that was accomplishing what they need, but also having the resilience and reliability to be there when they needed us. And that really engendered a lot of trust that we weren't just transactional. And also in terms of our customer support, many companies outsource customer service overseas, but we had it onshore, and we made sure that when they contacted us, we gave them timely responses. So it's great customer service too.
Yeah, but it's also people want to be heard.
Yes.
I did a test, and a bank over here in Ireland, um, you know, I rang them up and I left them on hold, and they were saying, "You were fourth in the queue." I was on that call and I left it. I did a post on it on LinkedIn, I think last year. I think it was 6.5 hours I was on that call, and no one ever picked it up.
Well, hopefully they're listening to this episode.
Oh, we emailed them. We
Well,
to let them know.
so
But
I'm all ears for a success story. Yeah, could you share a specific example of, a technological innovation? You were mentioning some technology before that you've implemented that truly impacted customer engagement and sparking that excitement about the possibilities of, client customers doing business with your brands.
yeah, technology which we find at the moment, which is extremely well, is technology which is AI technology
Hmm.
now, which is assisting salespeople to reach out to prospects. So it's actually what it's doing is it's data collecting the information that a customer would need, and it's actually then collating them, and it's doing some of that admin manual work which a salesperson or a team no longer need to do. So it's speeding up the process. And what we've noticed that when we've implemented software like this into an organization and then monitoring with that human level, that they've been flooded with leads, literally flooded with leads, and then showing them to the data point of the software of how to get them to prospects. So from a whole sales holistic point of view, using technology, working well in it, it has blown open the door that we've had clients that they've had to switch it off because they've had so many leads.
Well,
And that's not bad.
they probably need Thrive then to be able to balance their operations with your explosive sales growth. Uh,
Yes, they probably do. They probably
yeah.
do. Yes,
Um,
but it's
some,
one of the things. Sorry, one of the things I want to jump on as well, that with technology and customer service, there's a big fear out there that it's going to do away with a lot of jobs, and where people have to understand that this is a tool to enhance someone within a career, because certain industries there will be and have been diluted because of technology. I think within where I'm coming from a sales and the marketing point of view, especially the sales point of view, it still will need people in the background because to communicate with someone if they make a decision. And the reason why I'm saying this, we know that there was a motor industry who was offering AI to chat with people from sales, and the person tricked the AI and they were able to buy a car for $1.
yeah, that's probably good that they have a human in the loop then. One of the things that we've used AI for is sentiment analysis. So when we're trying to grow customer relationships, being able to quickly identify customers that have specific needs, or they're having an issue with the reliability of the product or service, to be able to quickly triage and identify those that need special attention. And so what we view AI as a tool is to save time. Say we're dealing with salespeople or call center people. As you said, we can automate a lot of the work stream process. They take notes that ends up in their CRM on a fully automated basis. But the net result is not the dislocation of jobs, but allowing the human to spend more time with their customers. And so it takes a lot of the time consuming tasks. We've seen statistics where sometimes salespeople only spend maybe 10, maybe 20% of their time actually in front of the customer because they're having to document so much. I'm sure you're seeing that as well.
Yeah, I always use the motor trade as a good analogy because everybody can relate to it. Years ago in the motor trade, someone would go in and purchase a car, and the sales guy would fill out a document. And then, as more protocols came into place, and there was, more, the manufacturers wanted more data points. The salesperson was no longer selling to more people; they were actually doing more work.
Hmm.
KPIs. They were, and they felt very frustrated. And I think what's happening now with AI and with software that's coming in, it's taking away some of that admin work away from salespeople
Hmm.
and letting them do the job that they do, and that's sell. Because if we look at a lot of sales guys, they're not really good at admin. They're great at selling. And sometimes you have to take a bold decision to let them do that and let AI and someone else look after the admin, because then you'll sell more and your company will grow more instead of being caught in the administration loop that some companies can get stuck in.
So, in your experience, what are some of the common challenges that your clients encounter when adopting some of these new technologies to enhance their customer experience? What strategies do you recommend to them for overcoming those challenges?
The first one is fear.
Hmm.
And especially within when you'll be implementing any sort of software into an organization, the first thing that people will be affected or feel they will be affected is my job at risk. This is the first thing that people will believe. You'll then, when you try to implement that software into it, you'll notice that there will be some reactions within the organization, and those reactions will be from people either turning up sick or having some sort of conflict because they're unfamiliar with it or they're nervous. So, for any organization that wants to implement a software to help enhance, first they have to come back and actually really look at an implementation strategy that actually then helps everyone in the organization to flow. We've always found that the people who put up the most fight when you're implementing some sort of software are the tech guys. You know,
They can do it
you know,
themselves.
they can do it themselves, yeah.
Right.
But it's understand it, and once you implement it and show people the benefit and the real benefit of what it has to offer them in their own career, then everything can move smoothly. Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be heard and they want to feel valued within an organization as well.
Yeah, that is a fundamental need. I can tell you that over the decades, as we implemented our technologies at these enterprise companies, we had the same experience, the same pushback from IT folks is, oh, you don't need them, we can do it ourselves. And oftentimes, what we found, and this is probably helpful for our audience being tech-led founders, is that you embrace those IT people first and you show them that we're actually easy to implement and it's going to make their lives easier. But oftentimes, the pushback isn't so much that they can do it themselves. That's what they say. What the real problem is that they have a backlog of projects and they're underfunded. And so they're looking at a new technology as just another project that they don't have time for. And so oftentimes the business leaders, what we found is to want to get to know the IT people and show them how easy it is, but also talk to the business people because they're the ones that are having to deal with not having the technology. And it becomes very important to them from a customer experience standpoint or a cost saving standpoint.
It's interesting. A lot of organizations that we'd work with, which would be developing new software, and
Hmm.
they would be going out to try and, okay, go to market with this. And sometimes they mix things around, that they're trying to create so much proof within their product and forgetting about the value. And I think with organizations, when they're developing some sort of software, they have to look at the value to their end user and the proof. And especially then if they focus more on the value. And that's, the clarity and also validation of what their service or what their software can offer. The proof will come after it as well on it.
I completely agree. You have to start with the end in mind, and the end is the customer's sense of value, their perception, and work backwards from there.
A wise man once said to me not so long ago, and that was, the end user should be the buyer. And I think that was you, Bill, that said it to me, and you were so right at the time.
Oh, thank you for remembering that. So
Yeah.
when looking ahead, what emerging technologies do you believe will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of customer experience? What does your crystal ball tell you?
I have to ponder on that one for a while because it's everything is growing so rapidly. The enhancement of quantum computing is speeding up what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. I think that we're going to come to a time when we're going to have machine learning, which is going to be far more advanced than the human mind. And it's always wonder, are we going to get to a stage in business where we have to kind of take a deep breath and ask ourselves, what direction do we want to take this? In saying that, I think that we're going to have automation is going to take off. And we can see it in the last couple of years. I was speaking to someone the other day, and they were talking about it's amazing that they have a Hoover that's going around the house, hoovering everything in the house. And there was the mother came in who's in her 80s and couldn't believe and was shocked with this technology that this Hoover's cleaning it. And then they had one in the garden that's doing everything. And technology is advancing, especially in business, that we're going to have so much automated that we then have to realize what values of what part of it that we can bring or introduce ourselves into the company for that customer experience. And I'm going to go back to it. I keep going to go back. And, I'm in business since 3 decades, where you and me were around when we had floppy disks and we had fax machines. And, I remember someone saying, email is coming, and
Yes.
someone else saying, no, that will never work. And everyone laughed, and now look at it. What I'm getting at is the advances of technology that's coming along. I don't think we can even imagine what it's going to be. But I still believe that the human connection between each other will still outproceed everything in that realm as well.
Absolutely. And that's the challenge for business, is making sure that their people are trained in that art of communication with their customers so they can keep that human touch. I know that when you say that the pace of technology has increased, I went to a conference on AI, and the speaker there had given the same speech a year before. And when he was talking about the technological change of pace with AI, he goes, it's drastically different every 3 to 6 months. He goes, the PowerPoint presentation he was giving, he said, things have changed so much in the year that passed. The only thing that's the same in my deck is the title page to the presentation. It has changed that much. So I could imagine, that another year from now, the automation will be such, and the information that AI can produce and give back to the company, we'll do just as you said. We'll be getting back to the basics of being able to train the customer experience people in the art of creating value and that perception with those customers.
I sometimes joke, I sometimes joke where, you have AI running an organization, and you have talking to someone else in another AI in another organization, and through online they're communicating and they're doing all this business, and they've decided what is good and what isn't, and closed the deal for the company, and then suddenly someone gets oh my God, we've just ordered a space station,
Well,
but who's buying from what? And I think I think people have to be honest, and I think people have to be truthful. And there's a lot of information now, and there's a lot of ways that we can we see it online that, there's people now who are producing videos and it's AI of that person. Like, am I really a person, or is this AI that you're talking to? And these are the things. I think people are going to have to be really smart, and I think they're going to have to look and think about what's going on, instead of just taking everything for face value as we move into 2024 and 2025, because reality is no longer what reality is. And especially, we are all focusing in to a digital world, and the digital world is the size of the palm of our hand in some stages of phone, and we're all focusing on this digital world. But reality, Bill, we're analog, and everything around us is analog. The chairs, the trees, nature, you and me, we're all analog. And we sometimes forget about that because we're all focused on digital. But everything around that, outside that little box, is analog. And I think if people sort of put on their lateral thinking and really focus on the big picture, the 360 picture of everything that's going on inside and outside the organization, the communication that they're having inside and outside, they are the companies that are going to thrive.
Well, that covers what was going to be my last question to you is, what advice do you have? The viewers of our audience are typically tech-led founders of SaaS companies and AI companies, and they have seen a niche in the market, and they built products around addressing that. And they're on their journey to determine how best to grow their company. What advice, in closing, would you have for an aspiring entrepreneur that wants to grow his company toward an exit, in order to achieve that type of resonance that you're looking for with those customers?
I always share a couple of pieces of advice when I'm asked this question. One is, spend wisely. Don't chase every shiny object that you see. Have trust and faith in yourself, and speak to people that have walked the path before you.
Great advice. Well, Joe, I really appreciate your time, and thank you to our audience. Thank you for tuning in today to today's episode of the Thrive Podcast. I hope our discussion with Joe was insightful, practical, applicable to your entrepreneurial journey. If you found value in today's conversation, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with your fellow entrepreneurs. Your support enables us to continue bringing valuable content to the community. So until next time, keep thriving. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.